Hi there. So I'm gonna make a very quick video today on how I do water changes in my Fluval Roma 125 aquarium. I'll walk you through step by step, show you the tools that I use, and show you the process I go through. So the first thing I have here is a large, strong plastic tote that is filled with water. This is just fresh, cold tap water, straight out of the garden hose. And it has got 40 litres in here. I've also got a corresponding empty one that I use to take out the same volume of water. Got here the API Aqua Essentials that I'm going to be using for conditioning the tap water, getting rid of the chlorine in there. Very important to do that. If you don't get rid of the chlorine, the water will kill off all the bacteria in your tank and the fish will not do so well after that. You can use any brand. I'm using this one because it's the one that I have, but there are many others that you can use. So there's that. Very simple water pump. I put this in and let it circulate the water around. I also use it then later to pump water back into the tank with a length of garden hose. Aquarium heater to bring the water up to temperature. This is set to the same temperature as the tank, and this is a basic Amazon heater, nothing particularly special, just there for heating water. And then I've got this, which is, although it's a TDS meter that I use for preparing reverse osmosis water for my saltwater tank, it has a temperature probe so I can check the temperature of the water. So first thing that I go ahead and do, drop the heater in, drop the pump in, and then what I do is I measure out. Now, according to the instructions for me, this is 40 litres of water, so it says that add 1 mil per 10 gallons or 38 litres. So I know that the water here is very heavy in chlorine, so I'm actually going to double that dose. And on the inside of the cap there, there's a measure that does 1 mil. So I'm just going to go ahead and measure out 2 lots of that. I've got that in there, and I've got the treatment in there now. So I'm just going to go and turn on the heater and the pump. And as you can see, it's circulating. But what I'm just going to do is just tilt it on its side. And I've just tilted it on its side to go ahead and stop it from splashing all out of the bucket whilst the water comes to temperature and is circulating. Don't be concerned, there are a few little bits of dirt that have come out of the pump. I'll just get a net and net those off the surface once I turn the pump off, so it's not going to affect the water one bit. So what I'll typically do now is take a starting temperature for the water, so yeah, it's leveling out just under 19 degrees, and I'll leave this probably an hour, maybe an hour and a half, to come up to around sort of the 23, 24 mark. It doesn't have to be exact. It's not a science. We're just trying to make it as pleasant for the fish as possible by not dumping a load of cold water into the tank. So I'll prepare the water, and then when it's up to temperature, I'll net the little bits of rubbish off the top, and then I'll go ahead and siphon out the same amount of water and dump it back in. Very straightforward. Siphon in there, leading down to a matching bucket right there. And you may be able to see a drum of water. That's pre-mixed salt for my marine tank. I'll be doing a water change on that later on in the week. So what I'm just going to do now is let this water drain out and take off the corresponding 40 litres to match what I have here. Okay, so I've now connected up hose pipe to that pump. It's running up into the tank. I'm now about to flick that back on. And off we go. I can then just sort of put that in maybe point that away from any of the sand so it doesn't stir it all up. I'm just going to let that fill back up now. And then once that's filled up, I'll go in there with a very quick razor scraper and remove any dirt. And yeah, I'll then get the hose out and I will then reverse pump all that straight out into the flower beds, so I don't have to go and drag that out. I only just cleaned the filter sponges in that canister, and there's 2 other canisters in there. It's all linked together. So I will not be cleaning the sponges, but if I was, I would be cleaning them off in this tank water here that's dirty, but actually pretty clean anyway. I'd never clean the sponges or media in tap water, always in old tank water. So yeah, now that's just going to fill up, empty down out of there. I've obviously turned the heater off so that it's not going to burn out dry. And I also turned off the heater. You can see the Eheim just at the back there of the tank. So yeah, just going to let this go in. And then yeah, we'll wrap up there. Thank you very much for watching. Some of you may be wondering what the bag of media is for. So I recently emptied down a very small community tank, and I took the filter out, but I put all the media and the sponges from that filter into a bag, and I'm just keeping it floating in here to keep everything ticking over. So when I'm ready, I've got some seeded media ready to go.